2023 was the first year where I started making videos on a constant basis from start to finish, so I thought it would be worth doing another one of these end of the year rambling sessions to end things off nicely. I don't know if I'm going to make this a yearly thing or not, but I feel like this year was noteworthy enough for me to at least mention some of the things one last time. I kicked things off on a simple note revisiting Battle for Bikini Bottom. I wanted to do that because the old review keeps me up at night, and of course my opinions change over time with age. Oh, and spoiler alert, I will absolutely be covering the movie game at some point this year. There really isn't that much for me to say on this video in particular, but while I was writing it, I was collaborating on another script at the exact same time with a fellow creator by the name of Junior Nitro. That would be the video covering the Wii demake? Different game? Thing of Sonic Unleashed. Whatever, point is, we did that video, it went pretty well. Definitely open to doing more with you in the future, John. Also, sorry for deleting the script, but why the hell do you want to keep those around anyway? Fun little factoid about that video, I bought a physical copy of the game for PS2 just to be able to hold something up for my camera shots, and it also looks funny on a shelf next to the PS3 version. At the same time, my PS2 was out of commission, and the only place in town that does console repairs is basically a crack shack on its last legs. So it took 7 months to get done. And after I had PS2 privileges again, I went to test the game and it didn't work. After that was basically this year's retrospective, the Pac-Man World Trilogy. I was treading new ground with this as I've only played the second game in repack before making these videos, so World 1 and 3 were definitely a blind experience. That frustration in those scripts was 100% genuine. I'm still glad I did it though, those videos were really fun to make, Painover's thumbnails absolutely fuck, yes I'm shilling him one last time before the year ends, and I'm absolutely open to doing more videos on games I haven't really touched prior. I first teased that retrospective in last year's commentary thing, but you wanna know what else I brought up in that video? Multiverses! Let's play a clip from that video, shall we? Honestly, I'm fine with that. Call it coping, but I'd rather a game be niche and friendly than get ruined by a bunch of fucking normies who boot up the game once a month and think Iron Giant still needs nerfs. Wow, a pretty optimistic view on the game's dwindling player numbers at the time. Let's see what happened just a few months later. Yeah, that didn't age so well, did it? The game went offline in June with promises of a full relaunch in 2024. I'm not going to go into that many specifics on why the game fell off the way it did, as others have done that better than I could. Also, the pain of it being gone has been offset a bit by the release of Nick Brawl 2, and that game absolutely rocks. Since it's not a live service like Multiverses, I don't give two fucks about it having a few hundred players on Steam. The campaign is cool, it's actually worth the money, the game itself feels great to play, please add Kappa Mikey as DLC.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
Anyway, back on track, after Pac-Man World was done and over with, I went with Battletoads 2020 as the next video, just to experiment a bit. Not too much to say about this one, it was alright, it was fun to make, but the next video was a complete roller coaster. Yes, I'm talking about the Shredder's Revenge video. The main problem with this one is that editing had to be delayed by about a week and a half due to home improvement. The house was just not livable at the time and I wasn't going to pack my entire computer with me just for a stupid YouTube video. And just to add fuel to the fire, Tribute decided to release the fucking DLC update at the end of the month, so my video came out stating facts about the game that became outdated by the time it came out. At the end of that video, I claimed that I would be making 2 smaller scale videos to make up for the lost time before one more big one at the end of the year. That clearly did not end up happening and there was not a good reason for it either. 2.5 months later, I ranked the classic Sonic games. That doesn't count the release of the Dimension Shell Shock video, but still, 2 fucking months for a video less than 30 minutes is something I'm seriously not proud of. What's the reason? Sonic burnout. It was really fucking stupid of me to play the classic Sonic games back to back 100%, then play the Final Horizons expansion in Frontiers, and then Sonic Superstars. Fuck me, talk about a Sonic splurge this year from Sega. It was all in the latter half too. That's not even counting the release of Sonic Origins Plus, and I don't watch Sonic Prime either. I was absolutely sick and tired of this shit, and basically forced myself to finish that video out of obligation, since I already recorded everything. Which finally ends on the Puyo Puyo video from last week. This was originally planned to be the second one of those 2 short videos I claimed to be making, but however, since it was already late November, I just decided to make it into a full-length video. A broken promise, sure, but to be honest, this was probably my favorite video to make this year, and it definitely ended it on a high note for me. I was kind of in a Puyo Puyo mood since August, and I even imported the second game on PS1 from Japan. I also ended up creating a card page this year just to simplify promoting myself in other places and to introduce myself to those who haven't seen my videos or talked to me directly. I know people with card pages tend to be the most unstable schizos on the internet, but I promise I don't fit into that category. By the way, a belated thanks for 500 subscribers. I know it's not the biggest milestone, which is why I didn't do a special video about it, but I really do appreciate each and every one of you that watches these videos. But you likely clicked on this video to see what I have to say about the channel starting in the future. No, it's not catastrophic or anything, in fact, it's positive. You may have noticed in some of my videos, specifically with 6th gen console games, that inconsistencies show up in the footage for a very big reason. See, I'm mainly a PC gamer, it's where I buy most of my new games, and if a game is available on PC, that's where I'm likely to play it depending on factors like availability or the quality of the port. However, that's not always the case with games in the 2000s, and even today, a few games just don't get PC ports. It would have been nice if Nitro Fueled got ported.
Lord knows I've tried!
Point is, sometimes you've got to rely on emulation. Now I have these consoles, mind you, but not a method of capturing footage. OBS Studio is a free download on Steam, while capture devices for consoles usually tend to send you back well over $100. Not the biggest deal in the world, but for ages I penny pinched and stuck to emulators for footage, even if it meant that the copy of the game I held up in camera shots for the video was different from the versions seen during gameplay, and the game introduced some inconsistencies that didn't happen on original hardware. But today, I am very happy to announce that the penny pinching has come to an end, and I am now in possession of an AverMedia Live Gamer Portable 2 Plus. This bad boy captures in 1080p, so I can confidently say that the video quality will be top notch, even for my 6th gen consoles. You see, despite these being standard definition with the best possible output being through component cables, I also happen to be in possession of a RetroTink 5X. I have been for a while now, actually. I normally use this just for my PS2 since that console fucking sucks and barely works on a modern TV without composite cables. But I can also use this with my OG Xbox for footage when needed. Can you believe that the video signal is going from the console to the RetroTink to the Live Gamer Portable 2 Plus, then finally to the TV, and there's zero input lag? This goes beyond just the 6th gen consoles as well. I can play PS1 games natively, which is just nice for convenience, and since my PS2 is modded with Mechapone, it's region free as well, meaning I can play Japanese games no problem. And since Mechapone removes the disc check, I can play burned games too.
That's right, baby, we got Peak running on real hardware!
Not only that, but I can capture footage of my Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series S as well. So I've basically opened a Pandora's box of games I wasn't able to review previously due to not being able to capture footage for several reasons. I went with the LG P2 specifically because of its ability to capture standalone without the need for a PC. My consoles are set up on the opposite side of my room where my computer is, so in the camera shots of those videos, I'm basically sitting right in front of my computer, and the only console connected to that monitor is the Switch. If I went with a cheaper solution, like the Live Gamer Mini, also from AverMedia, I'd be essentially chained to my computer like a dog chained to a tree. And 3 entire consoles' libraries would be completely infeasible to capture without constantly moving them to the other side of the room on my already small desk. I just said fuck it and spent the extra $40 on the Portable 2. I can play on my TV for a change and I don't need to swap consoles around 24/7. If you're familiar with some of my videos, you might know that I also have a PS3. However, I don't think that's going to be an option for capturing since Sony's retarded content protection requires an HDMI splitter just to get working with a capture card. And PS3 games are often available on Xbox or PC, or can be emulated on RPCS3 if I really have no other option. I already have enough plugs back there as is. If I wanted to play Sonic Unleashed, I'm not going to go through the trouble of capturing my PS3. I'll boot up the game on my Series S and play it at 60 frames. All of this, however, doesn't mean that emulator footage is gone for good from this channel. There's just some consoles I don't own and don't plan to own that can be emulated perfectly without issues. But yeah, this purchase will greatly streamline how I make content in the future, and there will be a massive consistency improvement from here on out. No more me taking 5 goddamn hours of the video to say, oh, sorry about the footage, I'm not emulator. Nah, it's gonna be real hardware, man. As much as I absolutely love and adore emulators, sometimes you just need the real thing. Speaking of content, about that next video, I'm not going to say what it is, it's a surprise, but the hint I will give is that I bring it up constantly in videos. It's also likely going to be the biggest project yet, and I'm willing to bet it'll be well over an hour long. As for a time frame for release, I'd say March, maybe late February if all goes well. After that giant video, things around here will finally be back to basics with a standalone review for the first time in September following that. I have a fairly solid idea for what I want to do for most of the year. But anyway, I'll see you all in a few months when that comes out. It'll be a doozy. Happy New Year, all that good shit. I gotta get busy.
I wonder if I should run that... Oh no.